Yo, check out this e-bike. This is the TST Carrier. This is a cargo style e-bike. This bike features a peak 1300 watt rear hub motor. It's powered by a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery. You got a max load of 450 pounds on this bike, so you can fit the kids on the back there. Got a nice padded seat, little padded bars to hold on to. The top speed of this bike is 28 miles an hour, and it's got 90 Newton meters of torque. Got slightly smaller wheels here, 20 by 3 inch tire. Not as wide as your average fat tire, but still pretty fat. Total weight of the bike is about 90 pounds, just a hair over. And on a full charge, you can get up to 60 miles of range. Looking down at the bars, you see we got a nice discreet little tiny screen here with your control panel. Got really grippy rubber grips. You got the 7-speed Shimano shifter, different than your average. It's under the bars, I kind of like that. It's more discreet. And of course, we got some hydraulic disc brakes. They are 180 millimeters. A pretty nice padded seat there. Got that big old kickstand right there, like a motorcycle. Pretty sweet looking bike. But hey, enough talking about it. Let's hop on this thing and see what it can do. All right, so the first thing we're gonna test is the speed. So I've come to this track. I'm gonna pedal around and see if we can get it up to that 28 mile an hour top speed. Let's do our first test is actually gonna be, does the thumb throttle limit you to your level of pedal assist? So we are on pedal assist 1. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it does. Pedal assist 1 gets you 9. Pedal assist 2. Looking like it's gonna get you about 12. 3. About 15, 16 miles an hour. 4, let's see. Looking like 18, 19. And pedal assist 5. Is it in class 2 mode? Is it gonna get us to 20 or above? Now we're 21. Yeah, so it's looking like we're in class 2 mode, which is fine because I'm in California and that's the way we do it around here. So in pedal assist 5, let's shift up to gear 7 and see if we can pedal to 28. No, it's looking like 20, 21. So yeah, we're in full class 2 mode. I think we're gonna have to go into the settings and unlock that up to 28. All right, so we got a pretty quick e-bike on our hands here, but speed is just one part of the equation. Let's go find a hill and see how this thing does on some incline. All right, here's a pretty good hill. What do you think of that one? We've done this hill before. This is my test hill. Again, it's nothing outrageous, but it's a pretty good example of an average sized hill. So let's give it a shot. Put it up to pedal assist 5. We're gonna try throttle only from a dead stop right at the bottom of the hill. Let's go. Pretty good, 6 miles an hour. I like that, I like that. Yes, sir. Slow and steady wins the race. Nice. Nice job. Now, if we can do it throttle only, we can definitely do it pedaling, but let's just go back down and be sure. All right, now we're gonna try it pedaling. We're in gear 5, pedal assist 5. Let's go for it. Oh yeah, much easier pedaling. 9 miles an hour. Pulling the hill, no problem. Very good, very good. All right, let's do a little downhill brake test now. Let's get this thing up to like 20. There we go, 20. Can we stop? Yes, we can. Yes, we can indeed. Good hydraulic brakes. And they're only gonna get better because these are fresh out of the box. All right, so we passed the hill test. We passed the brake test. Speed test did pretty good. Keep in mind, it is still in class 2 mode, but we're gonna leave it in class 2 mode because like I said earlier, I'm more interested in range over speed. So let's test the range. Let's go do a little loop around the ocean, maybe take it to the beach too, see how it does on the sand, and I will report back. But so far, so good. I'm liking the performance. There's a few things I would change. A few things, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. All right, let's go. Range test. And I think I'll do pedal assist 2 for the majority of this range test. Not too fast, not too slow. Happy medium. All right, we're pulling up to our off-road testing area here. Let's go take it around the corner, hit some trails, see how it does on the trails. And if it does good on the trails, we'll try to take it to the beach. If we can. The tide is super high today. Let's see how it does on some loose gravel. It does get kind of steep up here at the top. All right, sandy path, doing fine. Oh yeah, plenty of torque, plenty of power. Oh yeah, that's easy. No problem at all. Very nice, very nice. I like it. Let's pull over in the shade here and see what our battery is up to. So we did drop 1 bar on the meter there, which is not really a big deal or indicative of an actual low battery. We've done 8 miles on this trip so far. Not too shabby. In fact, let's turn it off and let's check on what the meter on the actual battery says. Oh yeah, we're looking good. Still full. All right, well the Carrier carried itself up that hill pretty easily. Plenty of torque, plenty of power. We didn't even have to downshift or bump up the pedal assist. Pretty good. Now we'll take it down to the beach here, if we can even get down there. The tide is super high, the waves are crazy, you could probably hear them. But if we can't make it to the beach, we'll find some soft sand somewhere else. But so far, so good. Maybe we'll swing by the store and pick up some cargo to put in this cargo area besides just this bag. Or maybe we can adopt a child to put back there. Are you serious? No, I'm not. I'm not serious. When have I ever been? All right, let's keep going on our journey, keep putting this thing to the test. All right, let's see if we can get onto the beach here for a little bit. Maybe. Maybe. Ooh, I don't know. The tide is very high. But, okay. Doing a little bit. All right, that's not bad. That works, that works. We're looking good here. Not much room to cruise, but we are cruising with the room that we do have. Okay, so it is a little bit more challenging than it is on, say, like the R002 or the Defender with the bigger tires, but we're still doing it. Considering all the debris and stuff on the beach, I think we're doing pretty good. I'd say that's a soft sand test pass for sure. All right, let's keep going on our distance test. What do we got? 10 miles in, not bad. Let's go stop and pick up some cargo. Test out this basket a little bit. All right, let's pull this steep hill. Again, gear 5, pedal assist 2. We're conquering it. This thing does really good on hills. Very good on hills. Better than I expected, for sure. All right, let's go in here and get some more cargo. I don't have a bike lock, so I'm gonna be risking it all leaving the bike out here. All right, cargo is secured. Fancy water, rice crackers, and some sweets. Not the biggest cargo haul, but couldn't do this on a mountain bike, that's for sure. And toss them in the bag. Take a sip and we'll keep going on our distance test. Cargo. Yeah, riding around in town on this thing is nice. I feel like it's probably better suited for urban commuting. It is a very compact bike for a cargo bike, I gotta say that. Which has its ups and downs, and we'll talk about that soon at the end of the video. Let's keep going around the coast. It's a nice day for a bike ride, so let's do all the scenic routes. See if we can put at least 10 more miles on this bad boy. How about we try some grass just for the heck of it? There we go. Oh yeah, that's so easy. This is wet, muddy grass, by the way. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, if it handles the sand, it'll handle the grass. Definitely. And it did. Sweet. All terrain approved. All right, we're pulling up to home base here. Let's see how we did. I think we did pretty good. All right, what do we think of the TST Carrier cargo e-bike? So the first thing that comes to mind is capability. This bike is highly capable of hitting a few different styles of terrain. We did the beach, we did the gravel trails, we did the grass, we did the urban landscape, traffic, all that. And it handled very well. I think having the slightly slimmer tire makes it a little more maneuverable. It coasts very well. There's not very much resistance. And you got lots of options for carrying stuff. Like, as you see, I've got my crate full of my essentials. Or you can carry your small child. You can carry maybe even a very well-behaved pet. Put your metal detector on there. You definitely got options here. In terms of range, I think it did pretty good. We've got 3 bars on the battery scale, and we did 19 miles, over 19 miles. So I think we could probably get in the neighborhood of 40 miles with someone my size and weight. If you're a smaller individual and you're riding around on flat ground, you could probably get it up to the advertised 60. The ergonomics were nice. The thumb throttle was good. The brakes feel nice. These grips are very grippy. Very, very grippy. I like them a lot. And that shifter down here, that thing, I love that style shifter. It's so discreet. It's so easy. You don't have to reach up and hit one up here. You just got a nice little quick, responsive little shifter here. tucked away very nicely. Same with the light, I like that. It's not overkill. It's very discreet, it gets the job done. It's not like a giant motorcycle style one. Pretty nice, very sleek design. Also, I like that it handled the hills really good too. That's always a plus. And I may have forgot to mention earlier that this bike is compatible with a mobile app. So if you're a fan of doing things on the mobile device, you can definitely do that with the TST Carrier. Now, is there anything that we don't like about the TST Carrier bike? There's a couple. There's a couple. You got to keep it real here. So the first thing is this bike is not that big, which for most people is probably a great thing. But for me, being 6'4" with size 14 shoes, I noticed that when I'm riding, my foot hits this bar quite often. So instead of riding how I normally do with the ball of my foot on the pedal, I have to ride like way up here, pretty much with my heels. That does cause a little bit of strain, not the most comfortable, but if you're coasting or using the throttle, it doesn't really matter. But that is something to keep in mind if you got big old feet like me. Second thing is, now it's not really a big deal, but I think this bike definitely could use a suspension seat post because it is a little jittery over the bumps and rough roads and stuff like that. But that's subjective, you know, that's just my silly little old opinion. And another one is there's no bell or horn. There's no way to alert the tourists that I'm coming through. It wouldn't be too much to throw a little bell on there or just put a little button for the horn right here. Something, you know, something to warn people that we're coming. And then one more thing is the assembly was a little bit crazy. It comes like fully disassembled. So you got to put the bars on, you got to put the forks on, and putting this thing on the rear rack, that honestly was not the easiest thing in the world because these bolts are very difficult to reach. You got these divider things here. I mean, I did it, I managed to do it, but it did take about 2.5 hours to put this bike together, which is about more than double the time it usually takes on an average bike. But thankfully you only have to do that once. Once it's together, you're done. So other than that, I can't really think of anything else to complain about. It did its job, it handled all the terrain we took it to. The range did very good. The parts and components are high quality. The seat's pretty comfortable too. For a minimal seat, it's actually not too shabby. So all in all, if I was gonna rate this bike out of 10, which I am, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10 because it's a relatively inexpensive bike and these cargo bikes usually go for quite a bit. At the time of recording, this bike was under $1,000 and I think normally it's maybe only $1,100, $1,200 anyway, which is super affordable for a cargo bike. And I think it handled just as good as some of the bikes that I have that are, you know, $3,000 and up. And a lot of the parts are the same as you'd get on those high dollar bikes anyway. So you're getting a pretty good deal with TST. This is my third bike from them and all of them have performed pretty well. No major complaints. So if you want to get yourself a nice little cargo bike for an affordable price, definitely check the link in the description as well as the pinned comment. Use my discount code to get even more off an already affordable bike. Anyways, I had fun riding this bike around and I hope you had fun watching me. So as always, shout out to TST for sending it out. I really appreciate the opportunity to check out the Carrier. And like they say, stay up, stay blessed, and we will see y'all on the next one. Peace.